Leigh, Day & Co is a legal firm that has been described as a practice with passion. Ever since Martin Day co-founded the firm in 1987, this passion has driven the company's decision-making and inspired its ethos to give the ordinary man and woman the legal representation historically available to public bodies, insurance companies and multinationals.
I think what we're about is to provide to the ordinary man and woman on the street quality legal advice in particular fields of personal injury, people being particularly serious injuries, and also for people who come up against government or against other big organisations. We want them to be able to come to us and get absolutely the same sort of quality of advice as corporate Britain would get.
This radical ethos runs through the work performed. The partners are given the freedom to pursue difficult or unpopular cases that push the boundaries of law. Cases are taken on that may be of little interest to other firms, but champion the rights of the injured, marginalised and disenfranchised.
We often take on cases which other firms aren't willing to take on, and we take on cases which are using very novel arguments, trying to extend and create new sort of legal precedent, which means quite often that you don't necessarily win each battle, but I think that personal commitment to the case keeps you going and encourages you to carry on in the hope that at the end you'll have what you feel is the right result.
This approach has driven the firm to take on several high-profile David and Goliath cases, which often involve substantial financial risks.
I think what we're not frightened of is risk and the scale of a case. We're prepared to invest money in a case, which often you need to front load. We are prepared to put the legal team that is necessary for this sort of work in. And in the end, a lot of these complex cases, there are no guarantees, particularly in the early days, that you're going to win. On a system where you've got to win to get your costs, those are big risks, but they're risks we're prepared to take.
What enables Leigh, Day & Co to take on these calculated risks is its flexibility and sound business model. The firm has been described as a boutique firm in a world of legal supermarkets.
Being a niche firm, dealing at the kind of really complex end of injuries and damage and loss and all that sort of stuff has enabled us to be clear about where we're going. And so when cases come to us, we would tend only to really take the more complex cases. We really do very little in terms of small beer turnover work.
An example of the firm's specialised work was Anne Wynyard winning a claim on behalf of Olivia Bull, who has cerebral palsy as a result of clinical negligence.
I found Anne extremely empathetic towards myself and my daughter. She had a real understanding of what I'd been through. She found out all the information which I'd struggled to find, and she explained it all to me in layman's terms, and throughout the whole process she kept me up to speed with where we were at and what was going to be happening next, at the same time without giving me any false hope. But I had great confidence in Anne that if anybody was going to find the answers, she would.
As well as its personal injury and clinical negligence department, and the first and largest human rights department in the country, Leigh, Day & Co is a high-profile international and group claims department led by Martin Day.
Leigh Day's contribution to this area should not be underestimated, and I think in a UK context they are pretty much unique in bringing these kinds of cases. Amnesty's experience globally of lawyers such as these is that Leigh Day have really forged a path to bringing successful cases in the UK on behalf of a whole range of overseas clients who otherwise wouldn't have their rights respected.
In essence, the firm believes passionately that justice, including full and fair compensation for injuries suffered as a result of the fault of others, should be available to all, rather than simply the preserve of the rich and powerful.
I think the uniqueness of Leigh Day is that we do all have a very shared commitment to the cases that we're working on and to ensuring that our clients' voices are heard and that their actions are taken to court and justice is done for them.
I think the description of Leigh Day as a practice with passion is a really good one. I know how much determination, grit, courage it takes to take these cases day in, day out, to have to fly back and forth with the particular country in question, to deal with the complexity of the local situation, to find the financing to keep on going, and to take on big corporate players is hugely impressive. and I think takes passion.